Hello guys, in this video we will learn about Spark optimization techniques. Don't forget to like the video, share and subscribe to my channel. So let's see the topics which can be used to start optimizations in Spark pipelines. I have listed most of the techniques, so let's go one by one. File formats, proper cache handling, persist using data frames instead of RTDs, using collation repartition, broadcast variables, or broadcasting the tables, choose right partition column, and memory allocation. So let's see the file formats. So we have many of the file formats which are available: ORC, Avro, Parquet, and CSV and JSON. Many of the formats. So we need to use the best one which is fit for our solution or our pipeline. For example, if you see, Avro is used best for writing, and Parquet is used best in case of reading. Because of its columnar format, we can read the only particular column from the whole Parquet file instead of scanning the whole data. And we need to use a snappy compression technique, so our data is going to be compressed in a larger quantity, and it's going to reduce your file size when compared to the actual data available. Create CSV files when only downstream system is asking for the CSV files, because the main problem is if you start writing in using the CSV files, writing into CSV file, it's going to take more time compared to any other compression technique files, or Avro or Parquet. So let's see proper cache handling. For example, we have a data frame which is being used in a multiple areas in the same Spark pipeline, or in the Spark session. So it's better we prevent creating the multiple times the same data frame. So we have to do the proper caching for that. For example, if I have a data frame as a DF, so we need to do df.cache so that it would be stored in the memory, and whenever the same df data frame is used in 2 to 3 places, it will be used same from the memory, and it's going to uh, provide the same data frame which is existing in the memory whenever required without recreating it. Let's go to persist. So depending upon our cluster configuration, we can use best use of the storage levels which is available in the Spark. It mainly considers with the points to the memory, or which is RAM or our disk. So we have around 6 levels, which is memory only serialization, memory day and disk, memory and disk serialization, disk only, and heap. So we can select the best one which is suitable for us. For example, if your cluster is very small, and you don't have a much RAM on your cluster, so you can use, if you have a huge transformations, and if you want having less memory, then you can go with the memory and disk to persist your data frames instead of just using memory only. Using data frames, so Spark is giving the most optimizations in these Spark data frames instead of the RDDs, which is legacy one. And Spark has a framework which came up with the tungsten and the catalyst optimization in the data frames. So tungsten is going to use a off-heap memory, and it's going to avoid the huge garbage collection which happens in the RTDs. And using the data frames, it's going to create the best execution plan comparing the using the different models, and it's going to even do the cost optimization so that our pipeline will be executing very quickly. Using collation repartition. Use collage when we want to decrease the number of partition and bring data to lesser number of partitions, and crunch the data instead of expanding it. If you want, for example, if you want to for example, default list mark is creating around 10 files for you, and if you want to decrease the number of files, so you can do collage of files, so it's going to decrease the number of files which is going to be generated. A repartition is going to shuffle the data across multiple nodes, and distribute distribute it uniformly across all the nodes. So we have to use repartition when we have an irregular size of data which is existing in each node, and then so that when we use the repartition, it's going to distribute data across all the nodes in an almost equal way. And we can use it when we want to increase the number of partitions.
Broadcast variables or tables. Broadcast will reduce the data shuffling and decreases the execution time. Small tables has to be broadcasted so that it will reside in each node while joins, so that we can prevent the data shuffle. So when the data is residing in the each of the node, there is no extra burden is required when actually the join starts, because the data is already available in the each node and it will reduce the shuffle zone. We can distribute the values or the list or a map across all the nodes, which is used in the multiple transformations. So we can broadcast a list, map, or a value so that it would be used in in the transformations. Choose a right partition column. It will help to distribute the data equally among all the partitions in our pipeline. If we don't use the proper partition key, it can lead to the data skewness, which is a big problem in our data, big data concept. For example, choose a proper date to create a year or a month partition. So there could be multiple dates in our data set, so we need to choose a better date to create a partition, for example, to have a year or a month partition. Memory allocation. Based on the cluster configuration and the data size, we have to provide the best executors memory and the CPU cores configuration. So we need to have a good calculation among the data and the cluster size we have, so that we can bring the optimal configuration to run our Spike pipeline. If you have OEM which is out of memory issue, try to see where you can optimize a code by doing the cache, by using the broadcast, or using the proper file, or you can try to see the partition column, is it working fine or not, and but just don't blindly increase the memory or the executors or your cores.
Thank you so much guys for watching the video. Do like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Bye bye.